Okay, I call to order the Traffic Safety Advisory Board meeting, May 7th at 6 o'clock p.m. Let's see. Item 1B, audience participation. Anyone wishing to speak during the discussion of an item listed on the agenda must complete an audience participation form. Please complete form and give the form to the secretary, and the chair will call on you when that item is discussed. You will have 3 minutes to make your comments. Item 1C, action regarding minutes from April 16th to 2026 meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I make a motion to approve.
Second?
I second the motion.
Okay, I call for a vote. In favor? All right, moving on to the business for tonight. Item 2A, discussion regarding adding no truck signs on Bailey Boswell and Blue Mound Road. Okay, this was basically turning into like the Highland Station, the Basswood Crossing area down Basswood. Know that there have been several trucks that drive down there as a cut through instead of going around to Bailey Boswell through like 156. So looking to see if we can get signs, I guess, before turning onto Basswood in either direction, showing no trucks. I think that we have some of the signs on Basswood, but if there's any way that we could get maybe signs showing anyone that's turning right into the neighborhood or.
So there is signs on Basswood. There's 2 speed limit signs, one on each side of Basswood, and underneath each one of those is 2 signs saying no truck traffic. As for putting signs onto Blue Mound Road, we would have to get a request from TxDOT because that's a TxDOT road.
What about Bailey Boswell?
Bailey Boswell has no truck traffic.
Before
No, they have,
showing not to, that they can't turn down?
yes,
Oh, okay. I
going
didn't
both
see that one.
directions.
Okay, okay,
It's just a matter of if law enforcement sees it, to enforce it.
gotcha. Okay. So the one on Blue Mound, we would have to get it with TxDOT? Okay. Is there any other suggestions on how to mitigate that?
We can reach out to TxDOT, see if they're willing to put up some signs. And if not, they might give us the permission to put it out as long as we use their standards for post and anchors and signs and such.
Okay, do you have like suggestions on something else that has worked? I mean, I see quite a few trucks driving through that area.
That we put up the signs, I believe it'll have to take the PD will have to enforce it. They'll be the ones having to pull people over.
Okay. Any other comments on that from anyone? Okay, item 2B, discussion regarding adding no parking signs next to fire hydrants. This was mainly for like neighborhoods. I've spoke to another person that lives in our neighborhood where there's a fire hydrant in front of their house, and I personally have one in front of my house where there's cars always parking there. I mean, she lives across the street and sees it too. And I don't know if they just don't see it there or what, but the person I spoke to, they said that it's all the time, that there's always cars parking in front of their fire hydrants. So I guess like in neighborhoods, is there a way to, I mean, would that be too costly to put up signs by fire hydrants?
So I talked to the assistant chief and I talked to the fire marshal, and both of them said they have never had an issue pulling up to a house or to a fire hydrant and it being blocked when needing to hook up. Neither one of them think that this needs to be done. They both think it's a waste of funds. If you don't want people parking in front of your house with a fire hydrant, I guess you could call the PD.
Yeah, so there's already in the transportation code, a state law that prohibits parking within 15 feet of a fire hydrant. That's a given in the transportation code with or without a sign. I've actually never seen a sign that reinforces that. So it's not necessary to enforce it. My suggestion, if I heard that complaint from somebody, what I would just say, turn around and call the police department, and we'll, have somebody respond out there and write a ticket for it, or the fire marshal. Either one of them could do it. But it's sort of a redundancy, really. You're supposed to just recognize that you can't park in front of a fire hydrant or within 15 feet of it in either direction of it. So that's expressly, stated in the transportation code already. So I don't know really if you gain any better compliance with a sign, and you'd kind of just be cluttering up the neighborhood with.
Right.
With.
And I do know that, like, by our house where there's a fire hydrant, it's the same people, so maybe just calling, I don't know, I'm sure that it's everywhere. It's people that probably live close by,
Right.
or that has a specific visitor. So I think that maybe just calling.
And it may be a situation where they're just not aware, because it may be young drivers that they're just not educated. So maybe calling the non-emergency number and saying, and having an officer to come out to speak to them
Yeah, that.
may be all it takes.
Yeah, I think that would be just as effective, just to case-by-case basis, go ahead and notify the police and ask them to come out and take a look at it, try to identify where the car belongs and cite it if necessary.
Maybe getting our media team to do something with it. I know there's a lot of pictures out there, like cities like New York City, they'll actually just bust out each window and run the fire hose through it. There's pictures all over the place. So maybe, a little social media campaign might help too.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Moving on to item 2C, discussion regarding potential design changes to East Bailey Boswell at Basswood intersection. This is a update on that.
This would be we discussed two potential design changes there. Would this be, I think we kind of group decided that the eastbound right perhaps didn't bring the value we were looking for that design, for that construction cost. Would this be about the northbound left at Basswood? There's currently a single left turn lane if you are heading north and trying to go left to Bailey Boswell. Is that what y'all are asking about?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a specific question or just?
I think it
curious?
was just an update on that.
Okay. General update is we got in a room and talked with Public Works about potentially implementing the cheaper option of that, which would be repurposing the center turn lane or center lane, which goes straight, into a straight and left. The consensus at this time was to hold off because there's other issues currently with that signal. The issue that we're trying to fix right now with that signal is that the pedestrian buttons or the pedestrian detection thinks it's being clicked every single signal time, even though it's not. And so right now that's triggering that side street to move more often. And that's just affecting the overall capacity and operational ability of that intersection. So we've gotten one quote from one signal contractor to fix that pedestrian detection. We're still waiting on one more just to compare. But the first quote was somewhat reasonable in my opinion, and I think we would have budget to fix that. So if we can get that other quote, then perhaps we can get moving on that here soon.
And then you said that those red lights through there, the stoplights throughout there, they're going to be syncing those?
Yeah, that's a little bit more of a long-term project, but yes, there'll be the COG, which is the Regional Council of Governments, is paying an engineer, not Kimley Horn, to design a timing plan for all of Bailey Boswell from FM 156 or Blue Mound all the way to Boat Club. So
Okay.
including the Fort Worth section of Bailey Boswell as well. Yeah.
Okay, and we can just kind of keep posted on the
When
progress?
Corey and I talked about this, I think let's see how it looks after we get the pedestrian detection fixed. And I feel like we're gonna need to let the summer go by, get it fixed, and then see how school traffic is handling it in the fall. We'll have more budget then too to spend on signal repairs. I think we kind of see how it's going then.
Are you saying that the pedestrian, that would be fixed like over the summer or after summer?
Before this, or
Okay,
during the
so
summer.
before the new
ideally.
school year?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. Traffic will just lighten up this summer. And
Right.
so I don't want to make a long-term decision based on summer traffic. So let's fix it during the summer, let's say. And then once school's back in session, I think we should revisit it and see if we still think that modification to Basswood makes sense and seems worth it value-wise. The other thing that I've just talked more with my traffic signal guys who know more about signal timing in the corridor, they really did encourage us to think twice about doing that cheaper fix where we turn that through lane into a through and a left. Because what it's going to do is it's going to, instead of the side streets being able to go at the same time, which they do today, we're going to have to let that northbound traffic go for 60 seconds, and then we're going to have to let that southbound traffic go for 30 seconds, or whatever it may be. They're going to have to go at different phases. And so that's going to add, or that's going to take away, let's say theoretically, 30 seconds from Bailey Boswell traffic, going east and west, yeah. And so he was saying, he's really worried about implementing that, especially before we get the pedestrian detection fixed. But even afterwards, he was like, I would recommend y'all just get the pedestrian detection fixed, take another look at it, and see if you think it's worth stealing 30 seconds from Bailey Boswell traffic. And even then, before we do that, we could still steal time from Bailey Boswell traffic and just give it to Basswood without modifying the signal, the striping, and all that. So there's other more immediate fixes or tweaks we can make before spending $15,000 to $20,000 modifying that.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense to,
And
To
that
tweak the time.
timing, we could undo it as well for free, when if we restripe that lane and change out the signal head and redo the signage, then it's not free to undo it. So,
Okay.
still working on it, we're taking the steps.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Stealing time from the Bailey Boswell, just trying different timing
Yeah.
techniques. Okay. All right, and then we'll revisit the pedestrian button thing at the beginning of the next school year, or in fall? Or the syncing of the lights? Is a pedestrian
I
button?
think at the beginning of the next school year, let's revisit the intersection in general.
Okay,
And just say, hey, we've gotten the pedestrian detection fixed by then, hopefully. How's it looking, you know?
okay,
Are we still thinking we need to tweak something?
okay,
Yeah.
that sounds good.
How long is it gonna take them to do, once we get the second quote to, get the pedestrian button thing fixed?
Was the quote just for cabinet equipment or actual push button equipment and all that? Push button, everything? I would think maybe a week or two, yeah. So,
Yeah, I think once we get the second quote, we'll be able to approve it, and we'll just move forward with it, and it should only be a matter of weeks before it's up and running.
Okay.
Question on how long does the pedestrian light run before the traffic goes? So it's adding, what, a 30-second delay before traffic can flow for allowing of pedestrians to cross? Because that's the potential time that we're going to be saving to allow more traffic to flow.
yeah, when I was out there watching it, right now, honestly, I don't think it's necessarily hurting the side streets. I think if anything, it's helping the side streets, actually. Because every time it's triggered, when the pedestrian goes, it's letting the side streets go as well.
Okay.
So, we're gonna have to watch it and make sure that Basswood doesn't get worse once we fix the pedestrian issues. Because I almost think right now, if, say we're given, 30 seconds to the pedestrians, we gotta make sure it doesn't drop that down to 20 when there's no peds. But really, all that Basswood traffic has been needing 30 seconds, per se. It's really hurting Bailey Boswell right now, because it's always going to a side street, even if there's no cars, no peds. It's switching over to that side street.
Okay.
But there's no time in the signal right now where just peds are going.
Okay. All right, let's see. Moving on to item 2D, discussion regarding installing a new traffic light at Bailey Boswell.
I'm not sure what this
I don't
item
know
is.
where this one came from.
I think that was carryover from the last meeting, because we were talking about replacing that one that was having the issues.
Oh, the detection.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says new, though. I can just give an update on all of it if y'all want. We've gotten back 2 separate quotes for fixing the detection issues, the signal detection issues, not for peds, but for cars, at Bailey Boswell in Old Decatur and Bailey Boswell in High Country. We have worked with Corey to get those in the budget for next year. But they don't have the money currently in the budget to fix those. So that would happen hopefully starting, is it September or October?
October.
The only new traffic signal that we might be talking about would be Bailey Boswell and Jarvis. That one was a grant-funded signal, and I think we've submitted 60% plans or 90% plans to TxDOT. I'm not designing it, one of my partners is. And the last I had heard is they had minimal comments from TxDOT and we're moving along. We've requested TxDOT on both projects, on that one and a different grant-funded project, to move the design up a year. But currently, the earliest we could go to construction on it would be October of 2028. So we're gonna request that we can move that up to at least October of 2027, if not earlier.
I think that's what it was a carryover from. We were trying to find out about getting it moved up,
Getting the what?
getting the date moved up.
Oh. So we had a call with the Basswood Sidewalk Project, which is the other grant-funded one today, and we still had good information about moving it up. They're wanting to get a few more of the franchise utilities cleared. We've gotten 2 of the 5 cleared, and so that's what's holding us up right now is just getting those official clearance letters. So I don't think I'll get official word on moving it up in the fiscal years for another 6 months. Yeah.
Okay, moving on to item 2E, discussion regarding making Prairie Moon and Cattleman a 4-way stop.
So a resident requested this through one of the other council people. I know we discussed this a while ago, and we installed the stop signs on Cattleman, or I think they were there, but they're getting a lot of through traffic on Prairie Moon that is just flying through there. They said that they'd like to see it as a 4-way stop, and they said there's even been one wreck where a vehicle flipped over there, so.
Yeah, I believe the PD has to make that call to turn that to a 4-way stop.
And I remember they were against it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think they said we try this, whatever we were doing first, and then we'd look at it again, but
Was there a reason that they were against it?
I remember he said he doesn't want to use stop signs for traffic calming, especially if he's anticipating a lot of people not complying. I think he said, I believe he was saying that would cause potentially a more dangerous intersection, knowing people wouldn't comply with that northbound movement. But perhaps we table it until they're here, PD is back here to talk about it.
We want to move it to the next agenda then, so.
Yeah,
when
we'll bring
PD's
this
here?
back next time, and I apologize, Lieutenant Crippen couldn't be here. We've been a little busy today on the PD side, and, but he should be available, or somebody will be available next time to talk about it.
Okay, that sounds good.
I will say, in our meeting that we had prior to this for the safety action plan, there was some discussions about perhaps equipping people with some traffic calming measures, you know, beyond just speed bumps and stop signs. And so if this was an intersection, you know, we wanted to look at either outside of the safety action plan or with the safety action plan, that could be something, you know, we look at is what other alternatives are there besides just a four-way stop to calm that traffic and maybe reduce cut-through traffic.
It's, because once that light goes in there, they're probably gonna see even more traffic, because the eastbound Bailey Boswell will be able to make the left-hand turn then, that they currently aren't supposed to.
Potentially. Is the assumption that people are cutting through Prairie Moon to avoid Wagley,
They're trying,
Comanche, or both?
let me,
Where's their ultimate destination? Back to Wagley? Because just looking at the streets, it's not very well connected. I'm surprised people are going.
no, but they're using it to get into that neighborhood and then also get to Comanche Springs and Prairie Vista. Because traffic gets backed up, so they're using that as a alternate route to get back in there.
So it's people in a hurry anyway.
So they'll go Prairie Moon to Sugar Creek to whatever, let's see what the street is. Red Moon Trail.
Right. And they live in that neighborhood? North?
Some of them live in there, and some of them are, because traffic gets so backed up from the school that they're cutting through there to get to the school and everything.
Or if there's a train.
Okay.
Any other comments on that before moving on?
Just, I don't know, Lee, will you be able to talk to the PD, maybe send an email out to the board? It'll be, what, 2 months before we have another meeting?
So that they can have something or be prepared on that, is that?
Yeah, I think we may be able to just send everybody an email and not, I mean, unless you want to deliberately want to bring it back again, but I think we can get that kind of answered and just put it out to everybody.
Okay, sounds good. All right, moving on to the last item for business, 2F, discussion on traffic safety educational efforts for citizens.
Yeah, so this is another follow-up on this, the item of the traffic safety educational videos that Pedro and his communications team have been putting together. And I think I mentioned to you that we were working on about 4 or 5 of those topics, and so today we've brought a couple of them for you to watch.
Awesome.
I'm Community Engagement Officer Pappenthien, and today we're talking about crosswalk safety. We all know how important it is to use crosswalks properly. In Texas, in 2024, there were roughly 768 pedestrian fatalities. In the country, there were around 7,148 pedestrian fatalities. Those numbers remind us how critical it is to watch out for each other. Here in Saginaw, we now have a new crosswalk that connects City Hall to a brand new library and senior center. It's a busy spot, and we want everyone who uses it to get across safely. Drivers to approach a crosswalk when someone is waiting to cross. requires yielding to pedestrians, and doing so could prevent a tragedy. And always pay attention when driving in general. Putting that phone down and staying alert could save someone's life. Pedestrians, make sure drivers see you before stepping off the curb. Look left, right, and left again, and stay alert while crossing. In Texas, many pedestrian deaths happen after dark or outside of crosswalks, so staying visible, crossing at marked intersections, and avoiding distractions like phones can make a life-saving difference. Together, we can make Saginaw streets safer for everyone. Crosswalks aren't just lines on the pavement, they're lifesavers. Thanks for helping us look out for each other. Hey everyone, welcome to BPAT Breaks It Down, the series where we take traffic laws and make them easy to understand. Today's topic, roundabouts. First things first, roundabouts are designed to keep traffic moving and reduce serious crashes. Fewer stop signs, fewer head-on collisions, and more flow. Let's get into it. Step number 1, slow down as you approach. Look for the yield marking painted on the roadway. In Texas, under the Texas Transportation Code, drivers entering a roundabout must yield to traffic already inside the circle. That means if someone is coming from your left hand and already in the roundabout, you do what now? You wait. If not, you'll get a visit from this guy. Step number 2, enter when there's a safe gap. No stopping inside the circle unless absolutely necessary. Step number 3, signal when you exit. Let others know you're leaving the roundabout. Simple. Yield, enter safely, signal out. Now remember, this is a one-lane roundabout. There are different types of two-lane roundabouts, so just pay attention to the signage and road markings when approaching. Now, if you're a pedestrian, make sure you use the pedestrian signals to cross. Stop at the curb. Make eye contact with the driver. Make sure they see you. Cross one direction of traffic at a time. Now, if you're driving and you encounter a pedestrian crossing, here's what you do. Texas law requires drivers to yield and come to a complete stop to pedestrians in a marked crosswalk. You, the pedestrian, have the right-of-way, but always make sure vehicles are stopping before you step out. Roundabouts aren't scary, they just require attention and courtesy. Yield to traffic inside, yield to pedestrians in crosswalks, signal when you exit. Easy. That's it for this episode of BPAT Breaks It Down. Drop a comment on what you'd like us to cover in a future video. Got any questions about roundabouts or other traffic topics? Send us a DM. We're happy to help. Howdy ho, neighbors. Welcome back to BPAT Breaks It Down, the series where we talk about traffic laws so you don't learn them the hard way. Today, we have a special guest.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Just like you didn't see that stop sign. I'm Officer Barber.
Today's topic, four-way stops. You've seen it, you've used it. You've probably also sat there waving at someone like, no, you go.
No, you go.
Let's clear it up.
Do I have to come to a complete stop, or can I just roll? You have to come to a complete stop. Your wheels need to stop turning completely. If the officer can see your tires moving, that's not a stop. That's a suggestion.
If there's a line painted on the road, you stop at the line. If there's no line, you stop before the crosswalk. If there's no crosswalk, stop before the edge of the intersection where you can see safely.
The stop sign itself is not the stopping point. It's the warning that a stop sign is coming. Make sure you stop beforehand. How long do I have to stop? There's no official timer, but the rule is simple. You must stop long enough for the vehicle to be fully motionless and be able to check traffic in all directions.
Now let's slow this down because this is where most people get confused at a four-way stop. What do I do when two or more cars stop at the same time? Rule number 1, at a four-way stop, the rule is always first to stop, first to go.
But what if you stop at the exact same time as the other car? The driver on the right has the right-of-way. If you and the vehicle across from you stop at the same time and you're both going straight, you can go at the same time.
If one vehicle is turning left while the other is going straight, the vehicle going left will always yield to straight traffic. If two vehicles are facing each other and both are turning left, they can turn at the same time, passing in front of each other.
Now, the event if multiple vehicles arrive at the intersection at the exact same time from all directions, there may not be an obvious driver with the immediate right-of-way.
In this situation, one driver will typically proceed first after ensuring it is safe to do so. Once the first vehicle enters the intersection, that vehicle has the right-of-way, and the remaining drivers should proceed in order, generally moving clockwise around the intersection. Nevertheless, if you're not sure, don't floor it and hope for the best. Be patient, be vigilant, and drive as safely as possible. Avoiding a crash is more important than strictly following the order.
One more thing. Waving people through is nice, but it can confuse everyone. Traffic laws work best when everyone follows the same rules.
And always remember, yield to pedestrians. If someone is crossing, they go first. Every time, no debate.
That's it for today's BPAP Breaks It Down with me, Officer Barber.
Drop a comment on what you'd like us to cover in a future video. Got questions about any other traffic topics? Send us a DM. We'll be happy to help.
Okay, so there's 3 good examples of the ones we've already got out that are posted up on social media, and the BPAP series is drawing really a large number of likes and views, so I think we're doing some good work with that, and Pedro has a couple more at least in store to make coming up with that. So any suggestions y'all have on any topics that you'd want to see us do?
The new do not block intersections, where cars, it just got put up on McElroy, but there's still cars parking in them, but probably don't know what that means.
Yeah, first of all, I just want to state my team's doing a great job. And unfortunately, because they're doing such a great job, we have departments from the city asking for videos. So just want to give you a heads up, we're booked out for the next 3 months. But the videos that we are doing right now is merging, no passing on the shoulder, and we're actually going to record one on Wednesday. But the one about do not block, we'll add that as well to the list. And we have many people who comment on these videos on social media asking for different topics. So that's where we get our things as well. But yeah, the no blocking, I drove down McElroy the other day and I saw that as well. So I just want to give you a heads up. If you're asking for it, you don't see it till maybe the end of the summer. That's because we're really popular right now with the city. So, but we're really excited and we really appreciate the city council for letting us have fun and letting our boss giving us permission to have fun as well. And BPAP Breaks It Down is actually getting recognized out in the public. People in the Walmart are recognizing him and at the store as well. So it'll be good, not only for the police department, but for our team. But if you have any other suggestions, please let me know.
Corey, what I know, is there another intersection that we're doing the do not block as well?
Yes, Cattleman's and Comanche Springs, and they should be starting Monday.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. So lastly, to adjourn the meeting, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I second that motion.
Call to vote.